Welcome back to Professional StarCraft 2. Let me introduce to you the Protoss in the bottom right, deserving of your respect and looking to earn it once again. It is classic. The technologically oriented Protoss has his work cut out for him, though. As, of course, sporting his very own portrait, his favorite player, and mine as well. It's the final boss. It's Dark, a best of 5 ZVP for the Korean StarCraft 2 League Grand Finals. Yet again, Dark looking to rob very suspecting players of their prize money and provide some good games for the fans. If that's what you enjoy, though, make sure to like and subscribe. And Jimmy, what are we at? 1,106. Yes. We raised it by 1,106 likes. I'll cast another series. I'll probably do it anyways. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you've had a good day so far. Hopefully it's about to get a little bit better because we are playing StarCraft 2, Legacy of the Void Race. I have not... Remember this unit? Silver Leaguer's like, yes, totally, 100%. I've played BGH before. No. The Void Ray has fallen off ever since it was re-nerfed over a year ago after some time in the sun. It just hasn't really found a niche. The Oracle and even the Phoenix are usually more popular choices, but the Void Ray remains a consistent defensive and offensive unit. Overlord Hunter, General Cool Dude, and one of the fanciest units in the game. It even has a little pylon strapped to the front. That's why it's so expensive to build this. Oracles, no pylon strapped to the front. That's why they have energy bar, because they have to recharge their batteries back at home because of their lack of pylon. You see right there, no pylon. Charges up the Void Ray. Burns through an Overlord. Okay. The beacon is lit, and the fleet has been called. Classic. I'm gonna go ahead. Mothership Rush. He's got a second Stargate. Carriers will be the play against the final boss. You go big or go home. And here, I'm pretty sure this is a carrier rush, like a straight up, full on, no holds. And you know, when I say classic is tech oriented, I mean essentially at the exclusion of almost everything else. This Protoss has one adept. One! He has 2 gates, but those are mostly for aesthetic and wall-off purposes. The adept is only there because Protoss can't build doors. If they could, there'd be 0 adepts. Classic would just rush carriers. I am quite convinced at this stage, whereas Dark... he said, well, there's a Stargate. He knew there was a Stargate. Oh my god, 5.5 minute. It's gonna be more like 6-minute carriers with a third. Brenda! We smell blood. Oh, maybe that was just me. I don't know. Anyways, we're walking. All right, very deliberately. Shut up, Susan. We don't need the comment. Sorry, I blacked out for a second. Oh my god, the queens are almost the way across the map. The banelings are in production. The carriers are required, and they have arrived. Yes, this isn't a counter to the triple Oracle Triumvirate build. The queens should be enough to deal with that. But are they enough to deal with carriers? Force field at the force field? Perfectly timed. I'm sorry. I got a little stressed out there. So far, classic. A near perfect defense. The carrier is actually taking a lot of damage, drawing the aggro of the queen. Oh no! No! And then they got in. Oh no. The Zerglings got through the wall. He didn't back up the force field with anything, and now the Zerglings are everywhere. Just when it looked like Classic would have a near perfect defense, it is dismantled by Dark in the most direct manner possible by just running in through the front, building some banelings to distract. If Classic had been able to hold the door here, I think it's almost a GG moment from Dark, where he had no economy, he has no follow-up, he has no real counter to carriers. But now, Carriers are a rich man's unit, and a man without 15 is... A man who loses 15 probes is significantly less rich than he could have been. Let's put it that way. But the carriers will sortie across the map now. Wow. Some lazy overlords, lazy lords there from Dark. He's got more queens on the way. But his feudalism strategies may not be enough to deal with the sheer amount of Skytars brought to the table. The thing is, the Zerglings have kept Classic so busy. He lost a lot of probes. He lost the queens. But he does have half a dozen carriers. Well, I thought he would. No, he stopped building carriers at some point. Oh, the Oracle and the Void Ray tag teaming. Not perfect here, but so many Spore Crawlers. He's just picking apart the Interceptor count. And Classic can't... 15 minerals a pop. All right, they're not... Oh. 10 probes down. I believe Banelings were heavily involved. Spire on the way. Dark, so late on his tech, but doesn't seem to care. Not sure what happened. I think he broke down the pylon and may regret it immediately. Zealot at the door. Still, a single-digit number of gateway units, and it looks like that number is going to be lessened even further. Zealots, a couple carriers back at home. The Zerglings forcing the Interceptors to give chase. Spore Crawlers coming back up into the main. Classic. Bamboozling Dark. Well, not really. Dark was definitely expecting the Moracles, I think. This was not because he thought carriers... I don't think you do this against carriers. It was just Dark doing Dark things. That he got so much damage done. I better not see that carrier die to Spore Crawlers. Okay. A dozen drones. Dark scrambling now. He had such a tech tree to climb just to even get close to the carriers. And he still has a ways to go, as there's already half a dozen out. And even though he doesn't have any ship weapons, that's kind of... Ship weapons very helpful against queens and Spore Crawlers, but... And in Classic, getting him now. He's got Storm on the way, Blink +1. You can't... He's just like, I'm gonna get the rest of the tech. Where's my Robo Bay? That's the only thing we're missing right now is a Robo and a Robo Bay. Classic's carrier rush, though, does seem to put him in pole position here in Game 1. He's got 130 supply to 105. Dark is a master of pulling out those last-minute comebacks. He is perfectly comfortable, or at least experienced, in these situations. But, well, I've never seen anyone dismantle carriers quite like Dark. Cyril has a very surgical method of doing it. But Dark does it by convincing the carriers that they were the wrong choice in the first place. He dismantles them with an emotional violence that results in incredible impotence. Okay, like the way he just manipulates his units and picks fights ends up usually going in his favor. Sometimes math just doesn't work out. Classic right now knows what he wants. He's building the Death Ball. He's got Templar with Storm. He's got carriers being upgraded. He knows he has the army to beat. Even if Dark was as greedy as he possibly could be and was teching up into the most anti-carrier composition, he's still got a ways to go, as Classic had a head start of 6 carriers, which is quite a large head that would rival even Big Gabe. 7 Corruptors on the way. I don't know how many on the field. I think this game does call for the dramatic Corruptor counts. It always feels awkward as Protoss or as Zerg to be building too many Corruptors, because then if you wipe the carriers out and they warp in a bunch of Archons or something, it becomes a very uncomfortable scenario. But this is not like a carrier group. This is a carrier build right now. It has very little support. There are Stalkers underneath. There is Storm. But everything is focused on these carriers. If they go down, the rest of the army will be dismantled and destroyed. 9 gates are done. So Classic is acknowledging that there's a likely scenario where he needs to replace with Stalkers or Archons. What am I watching? The Zealots on hold position. That was a crazy... He didn't even flinch. I mean, that's what hold position is for. But the Zealots there, the Plinko board for Banelings, he's hard-walling in his base to keep the Banelings out. And I mean, with +2 Banelings as a threat, it's probably worth it. Blink Stalkers will discourage the Corruptors from getting too close. No Vipers yet, mostly because there is no Hive. No Infestation Pit. Dark is going to try to break him with Lair Tech, which is a difficult proposition. We will see how it goes for him. Without Vipers, without Infestors, which are Dark signature units. Then again, he probably has laid claim to most of the units, but... Classic is now maxed out with 4 bases. He's going to be mining out of his main momentarily. The gas will last a little longer. But it's time to go. He's got +2 on the ground. He's pretty far off any other upgrades in the sky. Is he going to sit back and let Dark put together a response? The last 2 carriers have arrived. He literally cannot build anymore. It's time. The Templar, at full energy, chases down the Corruptor, spots the army at the front, storms his own units. They can take it. Storms right on top of the carriers. The Queens are underneath. The carriers are crumbling. To the Corruptors, the Queens with the Transfuses are keeping it together. Dark is just ignoring the Archons. They're evaporating. The Corruptor count is thinning out, but the carriers are taken down and the Queens. No! Classic! He stepped onto the creep, and he had to blink all the way. I can't, not again. No Vipers, no Infestors, just Queens and Corruptors. A heads-up fight puts Classic's face down. Dark managed to kill 1,200. He transfused 209 times. Okay, I'm sorry, wait, what? That can't be the right number. That has to be like an HP number. How much energy would it do? There's no way. How many Queens does he have? How many Queens has he lost? He's lost 10. There's no way. There's not, that math doesn't check out. That feels about, maybe he rapid fired it and it counted even though, because it can kind of, oh, it might be the heal over time, because it transfused does 75, and then it heals like 10 per second for 5 more seconds. This is to prevent it from doing so much burst healing, because it doesn't stack. So I think that's counting the heal over time in the battle report there, just for my own sanity. Ultralisks are on the way. I don't know how he does it. Like, he just straight up won. He straight up beat the carriers without the key units. In Classic, he got great storms, but the Zerg tide is rolling in with the Banelings. Now, where are the Queens? Where are the Queens? Without the support of the Monarchy, this is going to be very difficult. The Corruptors need an executive mandate, and they don't have it. Yeah, that did not go nearly as well. As Classic able to take a significant victory and probably a 5th base off that, one he desperately needs. The thing is, Dark now has the economy to bludgeon him. It's no longer Dark trying to fight a game of attrition where he didn't have the economy and he had to take a very cost-effective fight. Now he has 6 bases and Ultralisks. The Ultralisks are not because he thinks Ultras beat carriers. It's because Dark knows that carriers won't beat Ultralisks in time before they do their damage. They're used for forcing the Protoss army to respond. I don't know what Classic could have had that he didn't have. He fought on the open field, and he kept fighting. As opposed to retreating and trying to kite back in the storm. I think he was in a bit of disbelief at how well the Zerg army was doing. But Dark is merciless. And now, it's like we're It's like we're pretending that Dark wasn't way down. Then he did a lot of damage to Classic, but Ultra's on the way. The Ultralisk can also, another big part is closing the distance versus the Templar. Getting, minimizing the effect of Storm, as obviously they don't care too much about it. The Zerglings, on the other hand, significantly more impacted. Only takes a couple seconds in the storms to go down. The army supplies are dead even at 118. So it's the best it's gonna get for Classic, it looks like. Trying to bust through the door is Dark, but Zerglings every which way. In the fourth, in the third, breaking through the natural. Drops a force field. Zerglings looking for the wraparound here. They got +3 attack. The transfuses from the Queens. The Carriers. Ultras on the ground. Keeping it together, taken down pretty easily. Beautiful Storm also hits the Stalkers, but the Corruptors are washed away. Dark refills with 6 more Ultras, which doesn't really give him a way to kill the Carriers here. So that's going to create an interesting scenario. But Classic's base is being dismantled. It's ripped to shreds as we... What are you going to come... There's no home to come back to. Oh my god, Dark predicted this. He predicted, I guess, the recall home with the Carriers, which means he'll have a ground-based army to deal with the Stalkers and the Templar. If he had built a bunch more Corruptors instead of Ultras, then the Stalker-based army would have had a chance here. But there's one Zergling in the main. Classic has 0 probes, and he doesn't have enough money to make more probes. And he's about, thanks to that one Zergling, he made... Okay. Wow. This was... He's dead. He's dead, Jim.
He's dead, Jim.
Classic has nothing. Dark has thoroughly and publicly dismantled and humiliated the Protoss army. He was outclassed at every turn. Even though it felt like Classic had the better... At no point did Classic actually win a fight that wasn't heavily in his favor already. And in fact, the fights that looked like they might go Classic's way certainly did not. The Ultras shrugging off... I'm pretty sure Dark, as a matter of principle, is not building anti... Dark doesn't have any anti-air units. This is just disrespectful. This man has no anti-air units. He doesn't even have a queen. He just walks by and is gonna kill all of the buildings. This is... He's like, fight me, I'm up here. Dark goes low, sweeps the leg. Oh my, this has to be on purpose. There's no way he's not intentionally doing this. He knows the Carriers are there. He is intentionally trying to win this game on elimination. And he's going to do it. The Carriers can't do anything against the Ultras. That's the last 2 builds. I can't. It's a red card right here. Dark. This is Classic's way of avoiding the GG. But oh my god. The disrespect. But I bet Dark thinking, but why does he deserve respect? And that, I guess, is a better question. Oh, technically, well, at this rate, we have at least 2 more games. It's gonna be a yikes for me, dog. Game 2! Ooh. I saw Classic versus Dark. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be... Like, Classic has shown some really exciting... Like, playing against Cyril, Raynor. Must have been a different classic. I don't know. Every Protoss seems to suffer from, like the Templar with the bipolar syndrome, to some extent. Like you have the Protoss that looks like they just revolutionized Protoss. This Protoss has very kind of specific styles and builds. Because their units and tech are so expensive, they're very easily distinguished, and it's hard. It's easy to point out, like, oh, this is a new style, or no, this is a new build, as opposed to, like, a Zerg build where it's like, oh, he built an extra queen and also injected instead of creep spread. Like, the builds are a little more indistinct in that fashion. So every Protoss, classic included, seems to have their day where they're the new thing. Like, oh my god, did he just figure it out? And then Dark comes in and says, okay, I'll play with my keyboard now. That was... I don't like to commentate like this, but that was a bit embarrassing. I don't think Classic played poorly, but Dark certainly didn't make it look like a fair fight. He just hit his enrage timer. All right. At the end of the day, Dark was able to get his natural. I'm not. I'll be honest. I wasn't paying close attention to the probe timing. Not sure if he got the quick hatch or if Classic didn't send the probe out in time. Either way, Dark has his naturary, which there's a reason why Protoss have tried to interrupt, disrupt, delay the hatchery and Zerg builds in general. I mean, just canonically. Zerg is all about, and last game you saw, all about building up to a critical mass and leaning on it. How many years? I think in Brood War it was a strategy. Maybe not as extensively because of the maps, but of blocking the hatchery, if possible. The drone, citizen's arrest. Stop right there, criminal scum. He gets 2 drones for an adept. That's not enough. Like, and then why is there a Zergling in here? There's another Zergling. What is this? Is it an open house? It's like, no, it's a Protoss. It's worse. He saves the probe at least. So Dark just confirms most of the build. Sees the Oracle. I'm envious of how comfortable Dark looked against the carrier rush. He sat there like it's something, well, I guess it is maybe what he has for breakfast, if he's practicing enough, but he made it look silly. This game is not going to be anything of the sort. I predict a more typical Twilight Forge follow-up. As the carrier rush did not seem to be the answer. Dark is building enough Zerglings. He's... Oh, come on. Brenda! Is he for realsies? Yeah. We ride! Here we go again. Do any of you guys get joint pain off of creep? We have a lot of joints, don't we? That's not what I asked, Susan. I said, like, have you gone down to the hatchery lately, evolution chamber, and see if they got anything? No, we don't get upgrades like that. We don't have any upgrades. We're supposed to spread the... Sorry, blacked out for a second. I always seem to wake up in these odd situations where the Zerg is most of the way across them. Oh my god. Oh, you gotta... Okay, he does get the wall off at the last second. The door adept taken out. The queens have arrived. And Dark does not feel like playing much more of this series. Well, the Zerglings, this isn't even Ravagers or anything. Alright, shield battery overcharge, but then he just goes for the shield battery, which does kind of solve many of those problems. Unfortunately, transfuse doesn't work unless you're on creep. Not that it's particularly needed. Working on the doorway again. Might reshield that gate. Nope. And the cyber core. He's warping into adepts while he still can. Trying to break through. Cyber core gonna go down. Surprised he's not breaking it. Breaks it now. Queen's in an awkward spot. Enough adepts to make things interesting here. And it does, you know. You know, I criticize. I commentate. I even roleplay sometimes. But Classic has held the line and has the worker count. Unlike last game, Dark did not break through. And that means there's a good chance here. The oracles can go. The adepts. He doesn't want to risk the oracles, but the queens won't have a transfuse for a long time yet. Cybercore being rebuilt. Burning through the queens. Oracles now. Royal blood on royal blood. Finally spilled. Dark. Oh no, don't open. That's a lot of pylons. The things Protoss will do to wall off. Oh god. Don't watch. Oh my god. It's a disaster. Yeah. Well, did you know banelings do extra damage to buildings? Isn't that neat? So you know that part where I said Dark didn't get in and kill a bunch of probes? Well, about that. Thing is, even with 18 probe losses, even with 19 probe losses, Dark's still in the red when it comes to the worker count and just generally, but he still needs to get as much damage done as possible as Classic has the economy to recover. Where? Was he a +1? No. He's just fighting. That force field certainly existed. Oracle's trying. Banelings, 7 more probes. Yeah, that was a bad fight. I mean, it wasn't horrible. Classic has killed 97 Zerglings in the last minute and a half or so. 22 Banes. 3 Queens. Dark is now even. He deems that the cutoff point. He says, that's enough. All right, that'll have to be enough. And yeah, it does feel like it's reached that critical mass where there's enough gateway units that the Zergling Baneling no longer can really trade in any reasonable manner. Once again, Dark with a 9-minute lair. I've seen Dark with hives done by 9 minutes. Oh. I feel at some point, maybe we just hard wall with gateways against Dark and use warp prisms to transfer probes. All right, has anyone tried that? I don't know. He always it feels like one of those situations where if you decided to slap down 2 gateways at the front, you had like multiple bio fingerprinting, retina scan sort of break-ins. Dark would seduce a secretary of an unrelated business who's married to one of the executives at the door company, and then use that relationship in order to get the master code to unlock the door. Unlock the door, not go in, and then just blow up the entire place with banelings anyways. Because that's the kind of player and person that Dark is. With that said, Classic does have something resembling an army. He's got Blink, +1, much of the way there. Dark, though, has plenty of army supply. Classic... He's taking a 4th base. I think that's a smart move. He's feigning strength at this point. He's keeping Dark busy, so that way hopefully he can get his 4th Nexus set up before it comes under assault. He doesn't have any shield batteries or anything there. unfortunately. This time, Dark not being stingy on the infestors. Instead, gonna try to lock down those stalkers with fungal, or everything else, but mostly the stalkers. Slapping down Revelation for some creep clear. Templar Archives and Rubble behind. Overseer comes in, sees no carrier threat this time around. Infestor's on the way. Hydralisk Den. Think he's angling towards the lurkers. Couple infestors in production. Roach speed is done. Yeah, roach speed is done. +1 ranged attack is in production as well. Templar Archives. Chrono boosting the storm. So many creep tumors now. He's recovered from those queen losses with a vengeance. How many up there? Only 6 of them, but still very heavy on the creep. And Classic is kind of retreating back into a shell here, which has been shown to be a false sense of security. There's the lurker down the hive, going from hatch to hive in 3 minutes or less, which is about the minimum amount of time. More Zerglings. Dark perfectly comfortable with a lower worker count, as long as it's somewhat comparable. Classic trying to put himself back out there. Infestors show their grubby faces. I don't even know what an infestor face looks like. Probably not like the Dutch person. Dutch person. You know grubby. All right. The Warcraft 3 player. Definitely doesn't look like infestors. With that said, unrelated, stasis and wow, an ambitious gold base. An incredibly, like, wow. Alright, we'll see if that finishes. There is Storm. Lurker upgrades on the way. Dark gonna give up that central base. As Dark has a changeling scouting the entire main, because of course he does. But he doesn't see the gold, which Classic is reinforcing with cannons. Another cyber core targeted by Zerglings. This one, though, should be locked down well enough. The counterattack. Will there be a recall? If you're gonna go back, now's the time. Otherwise, this base will fall. Any moment now. Classic doesn't even have that much supply to warp in. He's very committed. The force fields are holding the line, but Dark has broken through. They're breaking into the belt. No, it's too late now. He's already on the probes. Oh, Dark is gonna grab map control back like he owns it. You know? He gets 9 probes and forces the army back. You know what? I lied. Dark is perfectly happy to sit back and build up the lurker count. That counterattack was just to get the lurkers out. So that way he has a stable defense. But Classic fell for it. Hook, line, and recall. And now a incredibly well-spread lurker line. Oh, he just popped an infestor. I didn't even recognize what I was looking at. It's been so long since I've seen feedback kill anything. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. The Nidus, he doesn't have a recall! Not like this! Here come the Immortals are crab walking their way in. They're gonna be a little bit too late. Dark pops out. Another Nidus. That's too many lurkers in the main. No, he didn't even have the... I guess he didn't have the supply to warp in. He pops another infestor. Trying to go through the front. And the Observer is still alive. Surprisingly important in this scenario. But Dark is breaking through into the main, whereas Classic is only working on the edge here. The drone's in front of the lurkers. He pulls back. Realizes he can't defend the base. Classic starting to dismantle the attack in the main. Dark dipping on supply. More Hydras. More Zerglings in production. The Niduses will continue until morale improves. 15 drones down. +3 attack. Shut down. Denied outright. As he kills the Forge with the Lurker Spines. But Classic still working his way through. Another Nidus. He's not willing to give this up. In fact, He's building a spore crawler in the main base. I don't know, you know, 50-50 whether that was an accident, but now definitely calling it intentional. Bringing that drone in for additional anti-air detection. The main bases are under attack. Classic is somehow mining from the gold. This game has gone sideways as both players are trading their mains. Classic has a lot less to fall back on, but he has more army on the field. If Dark loses his main, that's most of his tech tree with it. But the Hydras and the Ravagers, and most importantly the Lurkers, are starting to work through the Stalkers. And Dark has reset the tech tree of Classic. Dark is down to 33 drones, but his standing army is incredibly strong. The Stalkers are now stumbling their way back home. He's bringing more and more of the army. He's using Classic's main as a staging area. The Lurkers doing their best, and their best is quite impressive. The Spore Crawlers help zone out. Dark has claimed the main. He's actually sending some units back. He could just evacuate if he can't. Oh no. The Oracle's become so important now. Detection is scarce. He's down to a robo and 8 gates. I guess he has enough to continue supporting. Classic has 2,500, 3,200 in the bank. He's desperately trying to spend his money. He doesn't have that much production. Trying to come up into the main, but the ramp is held by Dark. What is even left to save here, Classic? What are you trying to accomplish? The Lurkers can pull back at any time. He's breaking on the Lurkers here. The Templar are coming up, but he lost all his Immortals. How does Dark have this effect? Classic could just leave. There's nothing left for you here. But he's like, no, this is my main. And now there's nothing. You can't fight Dark like that. Some might argue you can't fight him at all. But Classic could have just left and gone for Dark space. Much better than going up a single ramp into Lurkers. It's a disaster. And Classic, like, he still has enough money. He just has no tech. He can't build Templar. He can't even build Stalkers. He doesn't have a Cyber Core. He's building his fourth. He lost a third. I don't even know when the third one died. His 4th Cyber Core of the game. And Dark, despite having almost no workers, despite having 30 less supply, not that I necessarily think he knew that, he calmly, collectedly made base trading both mains look like the game plan all along. Whatever the opposite of ladder anxiety is, like, just a StarCraft apathy. The Zealots will actually kill the Lurker Den. Quite a big move there, but the Lurkers that are already out. Here comes a Queen. Classic this time is going to try to go forward instead of fight his way back. But is it too late? Dark might not even fight him at all. He is now inside Classic's base. Dark had plenty of time to reposition. A Templar Archives. That's the worst feeling. It's dying like a gold leaguer. 3,700 gas, 1,200 minerals, and just absolutely no way to spend them. Dark is gonna show up in the base. He's ripping him to shreds, I say. It's disaster. The storms are not enough. These are too many losses. Even if he kills these Lurkers, what's left? Dark has enough mining. He has enough supply. He's still working on everything. He's still got units. It's GG. 4K gas in the bank. You don't keep that between... Oh my god. Dark, another... I don't know how he does it. Classic did not need to go back up that ramp. There was nothing for him there. Sure, he wanted to protect his natural, but going up the ramp into lurkers? That's what I mean by emotional violence. Dark convinced him through just the chaos that that was his only play. Well, Classic on hindsight, I'm sure, would look at it, or if you asked him, like, what was the right move, you just go across the map. You have a bigger army. Pick a fight on anywhere else, pretty much. Anywhere else is more valuable than going up a ramp into your main base that's already been destroyed. It's not even your main base anymore. It's just a terrible fighting location. Yes, the lurkers might come down to that. But Dark said that's what we're fighting, so Classic had no choice but to accept. We see that happen, like, it's like a mind trick. We see him hit corrosive biles on warp prisms and medevac, which he has absolutely no right to ever hit. Land these spellcaster combos that usually only end up in highlight reels, but are just regular occurrence. There's always a unit that gets into the base. I assume the Zergling just says to anything at the door, like, don't worry, I have a permit. Come right on in, sir. Like, here's the thing, is up until these later game fights, I don't even think Classic's playing poorly. Like, I don't think the defense was bad. The Banelings just exploited the weakness of what Classic was forced to do. Dark just a master class. He's like a conductor of a symphony of murder. Very cutthroat to get into that one. Well, what's it gonna be this time? Will he pull the queens again? That's what he does. What he doesn't feel like. Like, that is his build against any rando who shows up in these online tournaments, too. Which sometimes includes Hero and Classic, but just 5-6 minute queen pull, 30-something drones, and if you don't have a pinpoint perfect defense, you probably will die to it. Classic didn't, but still, it's almost impossible not to take damage. Oracle on the way. Well, second Oracle. Last gonna stick to the basics. Adept gets in, scouts the gas. This time, Dark, not gonna wait till the 10-minute mark or so for the lair. Oh my god, it's a Nidus. Or a German taxi bill. Place your bets. Right? He's not getting any additional gas. Yes, there's 33 drone lair. This is at least something fresh, but the Oracle's gonna scout it. You know, the ultimate mind game would be to do nothing with it. Just play it like a normal macro game from here. Like, honestly, I have no idea what he means to it's just a Zergling drop, maybe? It's gonna freak Classic out, for sure. But he's not getting any additional gas. He's not spamming queens. He could be building two. He's not. Which makes me think it's not a queen all-in. Oh my god. It's not anything. I lied, it's a Nidus, never mind. I was so convinced Dark was doing the ultimate super mind game. Dark and his Nidus. Those dark holes. Just something to be always aware of. Make sure that you've lit up as much of the map as possible. The Phoenix is a great choice here to limit the opportunities. To at least get a Nidus in the main. But it certainly won't stop it from existing. Dark doesn't care. We'll go straight through the front. Here it comes. He didn't spot the Nidus, but it's, you know, the Queens. He should get vision of where the Nidus network is once the Queens go into Nidus. I think Revelation should give him that. Oh, surprise with the drones! Oh my god! It's a spine spore push! He's doing a spine... This isn't him, like, doing a Bronze to Grandmaster Challenge series. That Queen Rush every game. Oh my god. When I put disrespectful in the title, or something even more inflammatory, it is still going to be understating how humiliating this series has been for Classic. I don't even know if Dark will win with this, but the fact it hasn't been stopped... I'm sorry about that. Sewer Badger. Remember, Sewer Badger, the Platinum player who cannon rushed Dark after saying he was a big fan. Trying to maybe stall him out here. Give Classic a moment to think about what he's gonna do. Of course, we don't wait for anyone here. I can't believe. This is ridiculous. 17 Banelings on the way. Classic is just speechless. He's got no answer. What does he have? Some, like, it just feels like he has nothing. Yeah, it's kind of summarizes the series, but, like... Dark is just like, I can do whatever I want. And what I want to do is Queen Rushes. And here we are. Force Field. Force Field doesn't kill anything, it just delays the seemingly inevitable. The transfuses keeping the spot. The creep is all over the base. Oh my god. Oh, there's a Nidus in the main. He uses his energy on it. The Queens are just straight up fighting Stalkers. Zergling streaming through the multiple Niduses. Loses one spine. I guess that's a win for Classic here. He's got the Nidus throughput that he needs in order to get the Zerglings across. I don't know. There's a Void Ray Blink on the way. Classic has more probes. He's got 4 gates. The Spine Crawler's adding so much damage. He doesn't even kill it. Another transfuse. Might be able to get one of the Niduses. Dark, what gets me is the patience. Like, most players, when they're doing some sort of crazy all-in like this, are kind of nervous about it. Even the top players will really have this sense of urgency, like, I need to get damage done. Dark is sitting here, hanging out in between Classic's natural and third, and he's going to Hive back at home. It's like he's just on a vacation right now. He's just hanging out. He's like, I was seeing the sights, doing a bit of Spine Crawler, rushing a bit of a cheeky Queen all-in. Behind it, he's going to have Hive. You know what? He's not really going to go Ultras, right? He hasn't even built a Hydra Den, which I think is a bit disrespectful as well. Like, he's over here sun tanning, which is kind of a weird thing for Zergs to do in general. Whereas Classic is fighting for his life. We will finally break out. A drone, like, accidentally rallied across the map. On paper, Classic is not in a bad spot at all. It is worse than the other games, though, to be clear. Like, he's got 26 Stalkers. He has no upgrades. He has nothing to clear the... He can't even take a 4th. Oracle on the way. He's just going to get a fleet beacon. Dark's got his hive on the way. So, the ultimate disrespect would just be... He's skipping... Not even bothering with lurkers. He's going to be ultras, I think. Sometimes I'm not sure if it's just Dark style. I think Dark is what did Classic do to Dark? That's what I want to know. That's my question. Because this is a humiliation. This is a public flogging. This is not just getting beat, getting outclassed. And there's not it's non-zero chance Classic wins this game. I'm just defaulting to Dark winning because that's what he does. You might be like, Winter, you can't just circle jerk Dark like this the entire time. All right, I haven't yet reached my quota. We have yet to peak. When Dark does, you'll know. Okay. Ultra Cavern on the way, of course. He's gonna go with the classic no anti-air versus Stargate. Yes, he has queens. Oh my god. 18 of them. What the f... Florencio. I mean, he had a lot of the other... He's got 18 queens. Classic is a tower defense maze of shield batteries. Not that the Zerglings have any trouble getting through that. How many ultras? Just a couple. 18 queens and mass ultralisks. Hero lisks. It's really just a buffet table and a choice of, oh, how would you like to kill him, Dark? Because, I mean, Classic can't GG after being at 3 bases with 60 probes. That's not a GG moment. But, what is this army? Just run around with Zerglings. Going for the Nexus, which the Zerglings with adrenal glands, he just kills the shield battery. Oh, and then he gets into the natural, of course. Like, open up! Burrows. Oh no. Oh my god. I wish I could get dominated by Dark like this. Now, oh, like, he's just taking his candy. He just kills the Nexus. The carriers are, well, the most advanced capital ship in the Protoss fleet. Has to do some spelunking for Zerglings. Classic's at 190 supply, and it's never looked so sad. If you said you're dealing with 4 carriers, 25 Blink Stalkers, Templar with Storm, 4 bases, and Charlots as a Zerg, I think most Zergs will be like, oh, that's a bit tough. Like, how many Corruptors do I need? The answer, my friends, is 0. "22 queens, 3 ultras." Oh my god. Couple Vipers in the mix here. He doesn't even have ranged attack upgrades. He's halfway through ranged attack level 1. My god. Those queens, they're truly going to be throwing knitting needles at the carriers. Should be able to ping cushion enough interceptors, though. When you have half as many queens as there are interceptors, it gets a little easier. Carrier count is growing. Though Classic is maxed out. His army is 140 supply. Where is he? The queens are nearly full of energy. The hero lists. If any of those ultras die, that's a major victory. Remember Microbial Shroud? Oh my! It's okay. It's okay, Classic. You can leave. No. Jimmy, roll it back. Rewind the tape. Microbial Shroud into Fungal. Abducts him above Fungals into Neural Parasite. Shut down. He lost 3 queens to kill. 5 queens to kill 3. That was... I feel like Classic should just give him his mouse and keyboard now. That was exactly how I expected it to go. But somehow, I underestimated Dark. I forgot about Microbial Shroud, and I didn't factor in Neural Parasite. Dark has been planning that much. You know what? Honestly, I don't know if he's planning it at all. He just throws it together. He's like, yeah, that seems pretty good. And then the Zerglings get in. It's okay, Classic. Alright. Oh my. How many queens this game? He's still got 17 of them. He's lost only 6. Classic is running around with a 20 army supply lead. But truly showing Dark here. It's not about how large your supply. It is very much about how you use it. Here we go again. Finish him. Stop hitting yourself. Feedbacks on the Vipers. Microbial Shrouds. Storms are cute. Ultras. One almost dies. He gets one. Archons are back in the hands of Classic. Just in time to die. Alright. And, Dark. That was more one-sided than a Mobius strip right there. Oh my god. He didn't lose a queen. Oh my god. Wow. Oh. First, I have to pay respects to Classic. You just ended that man's whole career. Well, that's how you beat carriers. Jesus. Okay, well. No, Jimmy, not that. Oh, I don't really have an outro for this anyways, but... that's all I got to say about that. Thank you for watching, whatever that was. I hope you enjoyed. How many likes? 1,106, and we'll watch another murder. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Hope I made your day a little bit better. Good luck, have fun. Stay chill.